Well, greetings again, everyone. It's October again, which means it's time for Forever Horror Month to come back. And I've got a lot of things I'm going to share with you that's going to be the preview for what's coming up throughout this entire month. But later today, a little bit of overlap into October here, but I was working on stuff for a lot of days and getting a lot of stuff out for the month of September. So there's a little bit of overlap. So a review of Highlander Endgame is posting later today for you guys, as I had it up on Patreon over the weekend, and it's coming to you live later on today. So I was working very diligently to get as much content out in September as I could, as just one commentary for Back to the Future Part 3, and I worked on Long Kiss Goodnight and The Predator, and now Highlander Endgame. So changed up genres a little bit to kind of break things up after like the In the Mouth of Madness review, so I really wanted to get as much like kind of distance and content filled up between those things to make sure there was a variety of things for everyone. So definitely check that out when it hits. And Steve and I just recorded a couple commentaries earlier tonight. One was Child's Play, which is a great thing to revisit and enjoy and all that type of stuff. So that'll be probably posting up sometime in the next week or so. And we did one for Clue as well. So we were talking about it in our Halloween Resurrection commentary a little bit there, and I was also listening back to I think it was the Friday the 13th Part 5 commentary where we happened to also mention Clue in that as well. So definitely was time to just kind of hit that up and enjoy that and just kind of delve into that. But was trying to watch John Carpenter's The Fog over the weekend, but I was kind of dealing with a little bit of a headache and everything, so I wasn't able to give the film my undivided attention and be very much invested in it fully. So I will be getting back to that, and this is all in preparation for Steve and I to do a commentary on that. So hopefully things will kind of work out. Hopefully we can get together for another session to record something once I got that in the bag and everything. So I already want to deal with that and get things off, and then maybe Clue will come off a little later on down the line or whatnot, so we can get as much horror content condensed into the month, and then kind of digress as things roll on from there. But I got some Blu-ray titles, some stuff that I'll be doing for Forever Horror Month, which I'll pretty much list off at the beginning of this thing, and just some random other stuff that might not fuel into anything else. But I did mention some time ago that I did pick up the Umbrella Edition, the new 4K remaster of Russell Mulcahy's Razorback, and I did watch this on Saturday, and let me say it lived up to expectations. So this is absolutely positively on the schedule for Forever Horror Month. Not entirely certain I'll do a full review of it. It might be a scripted mini review, but I definitely gotta get the soundtrack for this thing, because I very much enjoyed the soundtrack that this film gave me, and so I'll have to look that up and find that and everything. But again, from all new 4K transfer, you got commentaries on this thing, you got whole featurettes and documentaries and alternate uncut VHS version of the film and stuff like that. So a lot of stuff I want to delve into, but I was very much impressed by what I saw from Russell Mulcahy's directorial debut here and everything from 1984. And there's going to be a review of the remake of The Hills Have Eyes. So this is one I've enjoyed since the first time I saw it back in 2006, and I really want to delve back into it and give it a full major review. Steve said Steve's also a big fan of this. He said commentary would be kind of okay for him, but I'm just kind of jazzed up for quite a long time for me to delve into this and do a review on it. So I really want to get into that a little bit. I want to get a little bit more deeper into that than a commentary I think would get into. I really want to do a proper review of that. So that's definitely on the books for Forever Horror Month. Another title I've been kind of sitting on for a while, but I discovered a couple years ago when I'll see what's going on with his channel shortly, but Chuck Dowling's channel, where he does the 31 horror movies in 31 days thing, which has been in a little bit of a turmoil with some YouTube nonsense lately, but he's going to be posting up a video later today about what's going on with that. But the slasher film Happy Birthday to Me, which is in this 2-pack with When a Stranger Calls, and I did a whole retrospective on the When the Stranger Calls stuff a couple years ago. But he did one of his reviews on Happy Birthday to Me a couple of years ago. I ran out, bought the Blu-ray dirt cheap and everything. It was like $4, and the thing blew me away. But I haven't watched it again since. But it's been so long that I really need to see it again to really get the overall impact again, because it's been long enough. I only saw it the one time, but I was very blown away by it, and I think I want to do a scripted review on it if I can obtain a soundtrack for it or something like that. But one way or another, I really want to get back into it, sit down and watch it, and provide you guys with my own insights and reactions on this one. So that's definitely in there. And other mini reviews I'm hoping we'll get around to is for The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2 from James Wan. We'll see how that goes. I want to do a lot of things this month, but I just have to make sure that I can pace things out with the time that I have. So that's mainly the concern there. I don't want to overload things, but kind of batted around doing like Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, and I kind of settled on that. I'm not really all that jazzed up about it. And over the course of time, I don't think I've maintained as much of a appreciation for it. I'm very much a high-end fan of the first film. Just certain things I just don't feel at this point in time I feel want to click into doing Hellbound. Maybe if Arrow Video ends up doing a standalone release for Hellbound on Blu-ray, because it did that with the first film last year with the Steelbook release, which was a bit pricey and everything, but I got it as a gift. But if they end up doing that at some point in time, I might go ahead and indulge in that, because that would probably have the most background information to get into to fuel enough just knowledge and research for the film itself. So I only have it on DVD, an old, like, pretty much a 10-year-old DVD set and whatnot, so I'd very much like to get as much of a fresh input on that if I ever did it. So I'm just going to have that on the back burner, and we'll see what happens, despite it's kind of like up to the 30th anniversary right now. I'm just not really jazzed to do it, and if I did do it, I'd rather have the most recent edition to have the most stuff to go on to produce the most up-to-date and insightful review possible. So that's just put on pause until a later point in time. But this was kind of cool because this came out last year from the Indicator series from Powerhouse Films. And it was a UK release, but it's a region-free release of Mike Nichols, Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer, James Spader film Wolf. I kind of popped on to Amazon, my Amazon wish list, and I saw the price had reduced a lot to like $15, and I just started kind of batting around. I went over to eBay, and that ended up having about the same price, more or less, with the shipping and everything, but I decided to go with the one from eBay because the shipping was probably going to be a little bit better for me and whatnot. Regardless of that, I got this, and this is pretty cool because despite not having a remastered picture or anything, it's the same old Blu-ray transfer, which is a little bit lackluster in places. It's got all new featurettes and interviews and a documentary and stuff like that. There's tons of shit on here that I really want to get into to just delve into more of this film, because I really freaking love the shit out of this. I reviewed it on the very first Forever Horror Month. Don't know if I'm going to... I kind of bat around back and forth about whether or not I'd end up doing a Redux review, but we'll see what happens after I go through this thing and see if it sparks anything. But just one Blu-ray in there has got this sort of reversible cover with alternate artwork on there. It's got this jack right there for you guys and everything. It's got this whole booklet that's pretty much just black and white text and some photographs and whatnot in here, but for a film that's not gotten much background information from it over the years, despite, I mean, like, I know, like, there's an entire reshoot for the whole third act of the film that this thing doesn't have any, like, deleted scenes or anything like that, and apparently there's not really much discussed about that. But for a film that had that type of thing from an acclaimed director like Mike Nichols, who did a lot of stuff earlier in his career that was very well revered, it just seems like something that just kind of got passed over in a certain way. I was kind of hoping maybe someone would kind of license the same content and give it a new master here in the U.S., but waited about a year or whatnot, and no one else has kind of tugged on that cape or whatnot, or whatever you want to call it. But there's plenty of stuff in here to delve into some archival interviews and stuff like that to really get something off. Too bad this kind of came out when it did, because Mike Nichols passed maybe about 2 years ago, something like that. So it started to come together after his passing and everything, so I really couldn't get any of his input on it. But again, there's some archival stuff to deal with. and just see where things land on that point and everything. But this was kind of cool, and it's got this a little bit, I think it's a little bit thicker case or whatnot, but it feels really good. And I've got this on DVD. I picked it up on Laserdisc a couple months ago and everything on the cheap. But this was kind of what I really want to grab onto, because the bonus features were very strongly reviewed on Blu-ray.com. So they got a really good reputation, a really good review of that, the assessment and everything. That was really good quality. And a film that I picked up, I finally picked this up. I picked up the Deep Rising 20th anniversary disc from Kino Lorber Studio Classics and everything. Was probably, I think I was just looking to buy a couple other things and just decided to just go ahead and grab it. My friend Oliver Harper is actually going to do a review on Deep Rising this month, so I'm gonna hold off on doing anything with this. I really haven't even watched the goddamn thing yet. I keep buying stuff but not having the time to watch it. So I almost feel like for my channel here, I think almost if Steve or Trent have seen this before, like they really fucking should, because it's fucking schlocky goodness. It would be this would be great commentary fodder. So I mean, we'll see what happens as things roll on, and I'll talk with the guys maybe in next month or something to see if they know about it or whatnot. But this was originally supposed to have like a 4K remastered picture, and for a lot of reports that they kind of silently dropped that and didn't announce that they weren't doing that. It's pretty much the same master that was done for the old Mill Creek release, with a slight adjustment in brightness. So there's not a remastered picture in any type of way. It's not listed on here or anything. It's not listed on their website anymore. So it got announced originally and kind of silently dropped out there. So, but it's got tons of bonus features on there and everything. So it's definitely something that's worth getting if you enjoy the film. I'll definitely delve into this stuff and watch all this stuff that's on here. But even if there's not a remastered picture, there's plenty of bonus content that makes it worthwhile to purchase, I imagine. So that's all I got for you guys at this point in time with that, with the Blu-ray stuff and the Forever Horror Month stuff coming up. So Hills Have Eyes remake. We've got Razorback coming up. So and Happy Birthday to Me, and maybe some Conjuring films. So see if there's anything else that falls into place here and there. So right now that's kind of phase one of everything. Maybe about the first 3/4 of what I have in store to see where things go for the rest of the month. But I'll be working on things as early as I can to get some stuff going. So get the Child's Play commentary up in a couple of days or whatnot, and then I can roll on with a couple of reviews to keep things fairly consistent around here. And anything else that's going on is not too much. I did, in the last couple of weeks, I kind of finished that short thriller script I was working on, but I really haven't had any time to really kind of lay back and sort of review it or whatnot, reread it and get a clear head, because I keep writing this thing where it's like 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning or whatnot, or something like that, when I'm really tired. And so I don't know how, I just need to kind of review it with a clearer head and make sure that everything fits together logically, because I've been doing so many commentaries with Steve that I'm starting to think like him when I'm writing a script. It's like, okay, if Steve's going to be anywhere near this script, I gotta plug up. I gotta make sure the logic of everything is sound in this thing. So I've got to hold up to a high level of scrutiny. So I gotta make it pretty rock solid and whatnot. So I gotta keep the motivations of characters and logic of certain things going on with it feeling fairly rock solid or whatnot. They don't feel contrived or whatnot. So I'm trying to keep that focused in my mind, working on the script at this point in time. So it's generally finished. Basically, first draft is done. And I just got to review it and see where things kind of land out in my purview and everything like that. And still waiting on from AJ Kohler, master music producer for Hemi and everything. Still waiting on some changes to be attributed to the track that we finished a couple weeks ago. That we got myself and Tim and AJ into his studio and everything to. He remastered the track with some brand new upgraded software and stuff like that, and punched things up really, really well. Sounded a lot richer and everything. And we just worked out some more structural issues and kind of figured out things to kind of just clean up the track in some places and just add in a few little flourishes here and there. And I just needed a few little things kind of adjusted in some levels and a few little minor things here and there, just transitional bits more or less. So see where that ends up going for my film The Fixture and everything, because like I've said before, I will have a full dual layer DVD release or whatnot through Amazon's media on demand thing, and I'm most likely going to pay to have a subtitle check put together for the film. Bare minimum is like $1 a minute for about a 95-minute film that I've got here, so it's a bit pricey, but to not have it up on some kind of streaming service at this time just seems a little bit foolish, so I'll just have to pony that up and make that happen and everything. So I won't have to pay anything for the DVD release. I'll just have to upload all the content to their website, and they'll create like a proof copy, which I'll probably just have to pay a little bit for to receive it and approve it and everything. And then they basically just whatever price you set, say it's like $12.99 or whatnot, or whatever it is. I don't know exactly how their structure works with their new back end site and everything, but basically whatever price you put, they'll have a set dollar amount for what they recoup off the front end of things to, again, recoup their cost of production and manufacturing, and you just take whatever else is beyond that from the price that you set. So that'll be pretty cool. So they'll have stuff with alternate scenes and audio commentary from myself and stuff like that. So that's rolling forward, probably a little bit behind schedule from where I wanted to be, but we'll have it out as soon as I possibly can. So just waiting on that from him, and that's basically it. So nothing else really going on. I wish there was something else. Like, always kind of like want to keep going on and on and on about things, but I'm sure you guys prefer a little bit more succinctness. But let's just say things are kind of going well. And anyone else has been asking about my fatigue issues or stuff like that, I've been sleeping fairly strongly recently. I haven't really had any weird nights. I had maybe a couple weeks ago, I had like a night where I didn't sleep all the way through or whatnot, but it's been fairly consistent. I haven't had much of a problem and whatnot, so that's cool. And anything else I had to say, I'd pretty much say it. So yeah, so cool stuff. I'll get back to you guys when I can. Just trying to see if there's anything else to talk about. But yeah, that's about it. So if I had anything else to say, I'd say it. So guys, always thanks for sticking around. It's been fantastic. I mean, this is this February coming up on 6 years of the channel here of doing Forever Cinematic stuff. So that's amazing. And this is what I've been doing 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17. This is the 6th Forever Horror Month I've done. And it's like I've done so many films. And I was just watching a couple of them from a few years back. And it's like, there was a certain look I had for a couple of reviews back in like I think 2015 and whatnot that I kind of liked better than what I've been doing lately with the kind of greenish tinge stuff. I had more of a bluish one. So I'm going to kind of try out a slightly different look this season and whatnot, because I think it might work better with some of the color lights I'm going for and all that type of stuff. So experiment a little, do a couple of camera tests and everything, see how things work out, and get you the best looking stuff I can. So it's tired. I gotta go to bed. I gotta go relax and everything. But regardless, guys, thanks so deeply for being around here, supporting things, liking, subscribing, commenting, and all that type of stuff, sharing it around your Twitters and your Facebook, stuff like that. I just love seeing you guys sharing things around and hitting myself and Trent and Steve up on Twitter and everything. So all that stuff is just fantastic, just to have all that interaction, this sort of community we've got here of everyone just interacting and enjoying and discussing things here and there and everywhere. So awesome. It's always the thing it's kind of the thing I've always kind of wanted, all the way back from doing the Forever Horror website, stuff like that. Just have even if it's just a small community, just a community of people that kind of love the same things that we do, and just kind of share that around and have a fun time celebrating that. So it took a long time, but I enjoy it. So guys, for the final time, thanks much. Take care. Bye-bye.